Acknowledge them, embrace them, love them, because they are part of you. They really are. So you really need to be able to just say, okay, yeah, yes, I have shadows. I'm human. That's what we are. And when you can acknowledge them and really appreciate them, there are gifts in those shadows that will come through. I am Gloria Grace Rand, founder of The Love Method and author of the #1 Amazon bestseller, Live, Love, Engage: How to Stop Doubting Yourself and Start Being Yourself. In this podcast, we share practical advice from a spiritual perspective on how to live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically, so you can create a life and business with more impact, influence, and income. Welcome to Live, Love, Engage. Namaste. Imagine if your biggest business flaws, and I'm doing air quotes here, flaws, were actually your untapped superpowers. Many spiritual entrepreneurs tend to hide parts of ourselves we think aren't professional enough or are too much for business. But on today's show, I am going to challenge that thinking. I'm going to point out that our hidden or shadow sides are like, deeper emotions, need for control, fear, things like that. Actually, they hold the keys to our next level of leadership. But first, I do want to welcome you to Live, Love, Engage, especially if you are new to the podcast. I am Grace, the Light Messenger and founder of Align to Shine Academy. And I work with spiritually minded entrepreneurs who are ready to break free from self-doubt and step into their highest potential. Using my proven love method, I help them build unshakable confidence, attract premium clients, and create a soul-aligned business that thrives. And I don't know about you, but that's what I want. And I'm building it actually right now as well. So so let's talk about shadow sides. Now, if you're not familiar with this term, it's what psychologist Carl Jung referred to as that unconscious part of our personality that contains the qualities and emotions that maybe we don't quite like, like anger, resentment, stuff like that. Well, in our business, these shadows can actually manifest as unconscious limiting beliefs like, I'm not good enough. And that can lead to things like self-sabotage, poor decision-making, or strained relationships with maybe clients or team members. And sometimes these repressed emotions, these shadows, can also come up unexpectedly as strong reactions to challenges, or can leave you kind of prone to conflicts with others. It can also kind of hinder your ability to collaborate and really keep you from being an effective leader if it's not addressed. And business owners and CEOs who are operating out of their shadows are also kind of reluctant, not just kind of, they are, I would say, reluctant to take risks and step out of your comfort zone and have a hard time accepting feedback. And there are really 5 archetypes, I guess. I think that's the right word to describe it. Five, I'm going to stick with it. It's archetypes that describe these patterns. You've got your inner perfectionist, who is afraid of mistakes and judgment. There's the people pleaser, who has trouble setting boundaries and pricing their services. You've got the overachiever, who goes through burnout cycles because they're just doing too much in their business, trying to do it all. You got the wounded child, who has trust issues in business relationships. And the hidden leader, who fears true power and visibility. And I got to tell you that during the first, I would say 8 to 10 years of my business, I embodied one or more of those archetypes at any given time. And what I do know too is that, I mean, certainly for me, and I believe this is probably the case with a lot of CEOs who are, dealing with these shadows and entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, things like that. The seeds for the shadows were really planted in childhood. And I know as me, I'm a daughter of an alcoholic, and I know that led to a lot of trust issues, because I didn't quite know what was going on in my house from day to day. And then also because of I had an older brother and older sister, and they fought with my mom, and not so much my dad, but really my mom a lot, yelling matches and things like that. I decided that I was going to be the peacemaker in the house. I'm going to be the good girl. I'm going to be the responsible one. And that carried over into adulthood. And then, wound up being, like I said, the people pleaser, one who didn't want to raise her rates for fear of, maybe her clients aren't going to hire her anymore. Not true. One of my longtime clients one of my first clients, who was also a longtime client, when I finally realized, oh, duh, I should have been asking for a raise, raising my rates, they paid it without any hesitation. I was like, oh, really? Oh, man. So that's what happens, when we're dealing with these shadow sides. So how do we move past them? It's one thing to, be going along, but what do we do? Well, first thing is to recognize them, because you can't fix what you can't see. And so if you have things like, number one, if you see yourself in any of those archetypes that I just mentioned, that's a good clue. But maybe you feel guilty about making money. I know a lot of heart-centered entrepreneurs, especially in like healing modalities. They want to help everybody, because we got a big heart, and I feel that way too. So, you hesitate to charge a lot of money. However, you got bills to pay too. So you do have to be able to stand your ground a bit. So, that's one of the things that you can be aware of. If you have resistance to receiving support, perhaps, you want to soldier on and do everything yourself, and you don't want to ask for help. Maybe you feel like an imposter sometimes. You see other people succeeding, and you're like, who am I to really be, this entrepreneur? I can't live up to those people. Comparisonitis as well kind of plays in here. And you need to acknowledge that. You really do. You've got to be able to own it. And as I mentioned in my episode that was out 2 weeks ago, where I talked about this, doing like a spiritual year-end review, don't beat yourself up over it, because that's not going to do yourself any good either. I've learned that lesson too. You're human. You're allowed to make mistakes. And, some of these things were things that you picked up in childhood that were maybe, buried, unconscious things. So you can overcome whatever is going on. You can overcome your shadows. That is the good news. So, like I said, acknowledging them is half the battle right there, because with awareness, you can decide, number one, you can decide that you want to make some changes in your business. And that's the first thing, okay. And then if you can either decide to take action on your own and just, power through and say, okay, today I'm not going to do things the way I did it before. There are some people that probably can do that with no problem. I would say, though, probably for the majority of people, though, who are going through this, you're going to need some support. What does that look like? It could be simply calling a friend. It could be calling a fellow entrepreneur. Maybe you've got someone in your network who is really kicking butt. Talk to them, seek out a mentor and ask for advice and say, hey, this is first find out if they're open to offering it, giving the advice, I should say, find out. you might have to pay some money to them and not just expect that they're going to be giving you advice for free. And treat that as an investment in yourself and an investment in your business. So it could be that you need to actually hire a coach. I have worked with, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe like a dozen coaches over the 15 plus years now that I've been in business. Yeah, most likely. I mean, I'll have to sit down one of these days and write it out and try to figure out who all I've worked with, but it's been a lot. And each one has helped me at the time with what I was dealing with, and it helped me with different things. And that's why it's so wonderful, because I remember one of my coaches, unfortunately, she's no longer with us. She transitioned a few years ago, but she really helped me see blind spots that she heard me say things that I wasn't even aware of, and really limiting beliefs about myself. And that was so eye-opening to me. I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, I'm recording this. Go back and listen to it, Gloria. Gloria Grace. I know. I really have been called to really step into using grace. But I'm over 60, I've been using Gloria a long time, so I may still slip up. So, give me some grace. Anyway, yeah, so that's why, working with a coach is so important. And I will tell you, the other thing that I really believe has also made a huge difference in my life and in the lives of others that I see out there as well is to do some healing work. Because again, sometimes if you do have trauma, maybe you had something really, abuse or something, you need to work with someone who really is, number one, specialized in that, who can help you. It could be a psychologist or something like that. But I also really believe in the power of energy healing, frankly, because we are energy beings. That is what we are made of. I'm reading this fantastic book right now called The Holographic Universe. And it's about quantum physics but really talking about how we're made of energy. And so we respond to frequencies and energy. And so when you can take advantage of different energy healing modalities, and there's lots of them out there, that it can really help you to release some of these blocks that are subconscious, that you don't even know about. I know for me, the one that's been, I originally started working with Reiki, which I still love. I think Reiki is a fantastic modality. But I also, over the last few years, have been channeling light language, it's this sound healing. I speak it and I sing it. There's these languages that I don't always am able to necessarily translate, but it has done wonders for really helping me release things. So I would love to encourage you right now, if you would like to try this, and experience something like that for yourself, I can give you a free 15-minute session. You just have to go to bit.ly/LL trial, and the L is capitalized, the second L is capitalized, and the T is capitalized. And I will have that in the show notes for you as well. But I would encourage you to come with an open mind and see what it's all about, because it might be something that you would like to do more of. And I know over the last week, I've been doing this for myself in the morning after I meditate. And I know it's just continuing to help me just really clear things out. Let's see. So once you've really embraced your shadows, and again, I think that's the important thing, not only to, let me back up here, because you're probably like, what? I thought we were just recognizing. What do you mean embrace? Acknowledge them, embrace them, love them, because they are part of you. They really are. So you really need to be able to just say, okay, yes, I have shadows. I'm human. That's what we are. And when you can acknowledge them and really appreciate them, there are gifts in those shadows that will come through. And what you'll find is by really acknowledging them and saying, okay, you're going to find it's much easier to do things like take risks and step out of your comfort zone, to make offers in your business, to really not hem and haw about, oh, what am I going to charge for this new program? And, you're going to be able to do that much more easily. And you're going to start really developing some increased resilience and enhance your creativity, frankly, too. And I should say one of the other things, in addition to energy healing, I think that is also really helps you to really make friends with your shadows is to spend time in contemplation, in meditation, in journaling, mindfulness, all of these ways that are available to you to go inward, to really, again, to make friends with yourself, to love yourself, all of you, because you are worthy to be loved. You are worthy of all of the wonderful things that you want to accomplish in your life, in your business. And the other thing to realize is that shadows can't exist without light. I mean, you think about it. You only see a shadow if light is shining onto something, and then it makes that shadow. If there was no light, everything would be dark. So with you, because even if there is a shadow in you, there is also light in you. And the more that you are able to focus on your own inner light and to cultivate it and to bring it out, number one, it becomes easier to see those shadows. And I will say that this is a continuing journey because we're never fixed. We continue to grow and evolve, and there's always going to be something that's going to come up. So just know that, and be at peace with that. I've learned this lesson too, because we're on this journey. We're on this journey to grow. So anyway, as I said, as you focus on this inner light, it comes easier to see the shadow. You can make friends with it. And then as more of your inner light comes out, eventually there's all light. And those shadows really start to fade away. You can, maybe just see a little glimmer, a little smidgen of one from time to time. And the last thing I want to leave you with, the last point I want to leave you with today, is that know that you are connected to a higher something. Now, I still use the term God. I was raised Catholic. That's still the term that I use, that I'm most comfortable with. But replace it with whatever you want to use. If you want to use source, you want to use higher self, you want to use universe, whatever. But let's face it, and I still don't understand how, atheists, I think, that don't believe in anything. We live in an amazing world, in an amazing universe, and I'm sorry, the Big Bang didn't just happen in a vacuum. Something still initiated that, which made all of us possible. So I think it's this energy of love. And so you are a part of that. You are surrounded by divine light, life, and love. And more than that, not only are you surrounded by it, you are it. You are divine light. You are divine love. That is what you are made of. That is what we are all made of. And my intention for, the next 5 years, let's say, is that more and more people start to realize that and awaken to this fact that we are all, number one human family. We are all connected. We are all made of energy. We are all made of love. And if we all knew that, I think there would be a lot less conflict in the world. There probably would still be a little bit from time to time, but we'd be able to handle it much easier because we knew that we are love. Okay. Yeah. I think that's going to do it for today. So like I said, make peace with your shadows, that these, things like, the perfectionist and the people pleaser and overachiever and all of these things, and know that that doesn't have to define you. That's not really who you are. It's like a mask that you put on, and you can take it off. You really can. And if you need support with that, get in touch with me. Message me, comment on either on like YouTube, or if you're watching on social media, let me know. You can always go here as well. Go to engagewithgloria.com and let's just have a conversation. Not going to sell you anything. We're just going to have a talk, because sometimes that's all you need. You just need to have someone listen to you for a minute or two, and that might be good enough. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I am, as always, just happy to be here to be sharing what I've learned with you. And I hope you receive some value from it today. And until next time, we're rapidly approaching the end of the year here. I encourage you, as always, to go out and live fully, love deeply, love yourself deeply, and engage authentically.